Good evening. Welcome to another episode of Communication Corner. I'm your host, Gail Lewis. Joining me this evening is a singer unlike any other, and she sings not only gospel, but also Christian music, contemporary gospel, and she just lights up the church pews. Some singers sing with just their voices. Other singers sing with their hearts, and still other singers sing with their souls. Well, Candice Garvey, our guest this evening on Communication Corner, sings with all three. Good evening, Candice.
Good evening.
It's so great for you to join us tonight here on Communication Corner.
Nice to be here.
I'm so happy you're here. You're 17, and you've just got a voice, a talent, a gift, unlike any that we have had here on Communication Corner before.
Thank you.
I'm so happy to have you. You're a soprano.
Yes.
Yes, and you sing in church.
Yes.
Categorize yourself as Christian, gospel?
Yes, I categorize myself as a contemporary gospel singer because I mix both gospel and opera.
Opera as well?
Yes.
Did you learn opera in your training?
Yes, I went to Frank Sinatra School of the Arts, and that's where I was trained in opera for
And
3 years.
That's right here in Astoria, Queens?
Yes.
So at Frank Sinatra, you kind of started with opera and really got your hands dirty with singing.
Yes.
Okay. But also, you've been singing a lot longer than just high school.
Yes, I actually started, my first solo was in pre-K at a Christmas cantata at school, and ever since then, just continued singing.
You've just been singing since pre-K.
Yes.
Wow, and you're doing a great job all of these years later.
Thank you.
Well, let's start off the program with you giving us a little taste of your musical gift, shall we?
Okay.
Okay, and that musical gift is sung through Upon This Rock. Now, this is contemporary Christian.
Yes.
And who's it originally sung by?
Sandy Patty.
Sandy Patty, and she's one of your favorites?
Yes, my absolute favorite.
That's great. Okay, Upon This Rock by?
Sandy Patty.
As sung by Candice Garvey. Take it away, Candice.
When others see with earthly eyes just what they want to see, you will see the things that never die. You will know and recognize by simple childlike faith the priceless truth that others will deny. When others say I'm just a man who likes to dream his dream, and when others call, I recall listen for eternity in moments as they pass, and you see with spirit eyes what others miss. Upon this rock I'll build my kingdom, and on this rock forever and ever it shall stand, and all the powers of hell itself shall never more prevail against it, for Satan's thrones are built on sinking sand. Upon this rock I'll build my kingdom, and on this rock forever and ever it shall stand. Upon this rock of revelation I'll build a strong and mighty nation, on which shall stand the stones of time. Upon this rock. a simple carpenter, you see the Son of God. If you would choose to lose, then you could win. If you would give your life away for nothing in return, then you are where my kingdom will begin. Upon this rock, I'll build my kingdom. And on this rock, forever and ever it shall stand. And all the powers of hell itself shall evermore prevail against it. For gates and thrones are built, sinking sand. Upon this rock, I'll build my kingdom. And on this rock, forever and ever it shall stand. Upon this rock of revelation, I'll build a strong and mighty nation, and it shall save the souls of time. Upon this rock, I'll build my kingdom. Upon this rock, forever it shall stand. Upon this revelation, I'll build a strong and mighty nation, and it shall stand the storms of time. Upon this rock, I'll build my church. Upon this rock, I'll build my church. Upon this
Garvey. Oh my goodness, I have goosebumps. Actual goosebumps going up and down my arms. You are tremendous.
Thank you.
Unbelievable. Thank you so much for sharing your gift.
Thank you.
That was Upon This Rock, and contemporary Christian, you would say?
Yes.
And the original singer, her name again,
Sandy Patty.
she's one of your favorites.
Yes.
Why?
I just love how much control she has with her voice, how she's able to sing chest voice and then go into her operatic head voice
Right.
so easily and seamlessly, and she just sings with so much emotion. I just wish I could get even as half.
You are
As much.
well on the road to Sandy Patty and then some.
Thank you.
Well, you mentioned opera, and I know that you have a long-standing tradition of learning music in school.
Yeah.
You started in high school with what high school?
Frank Sinatra School of the Arts.
Right here in Astoria.
Yes.
And you took a lot of opera classes there?
Yes. You were given the choice. Either you would take a women's chorale, or which is more R&B type songs.
More contemporary.
Yeah. But I chose to do opera all 3 years that I was given the choice.
Wow. And who was your teacher there?
Heidi Best.
And Miss Best
Yeah.
in the music department.
Yes.
Was she a musical influence on you? How did she influence your singing?
She just taught me so much. She was able to put musical terms into perspective for me to make it easy to know what to do with your voice. And like, she just helped you expand your voice in like many different ways that you never even knew it could go when it came to range and like without be able to hit the notes without straining. So I just appreciate her for all of that.
And in high school, you not only sang in school, but you also sang at Carnegie Hall.
Yes.
And how did you get to Carnegie Hall? Other than practice, how did you get to Carnegie Hall?
Well, in high school, you're also allowed to choose one choir to be in. And I auditioned and I got into concert choir. And
Concert choir is what?
it's an upper level choir with all you audition to get into it. You have sight singing. You just get to perform more different places and get more experience. But I auditioned for concert choir and I got in. And 2010, we did Too Hot to Handle, which is a remix on Handel's Messiah.
Right, Too Hot to Handle.
Yeah. And then we sang that at Carnegie Hall. And then from there, we went back the next year also. And then my school, well, Ms. Bess told me about the Collegiate Chorale, which is a professional choir.
And they're affiliated with your high school?
Yes. They have this program called Side by Side, which is where they take students from anyone who auditions, any student who auditions and gets in. They take them and you get to sit beside professional singers and you sing on the choir with them. So we also regularly sang at Carnegie Hall.
That's amazing. That just takes mentoring to a whole other step.
Yeah.
Literally sitting side by side
Yeah.
with a professional singer. Who have you sang with? Anyone we would know?
No.
But professional singers
Yeah.
nonetheless. So you were doing that already in high school, performing in Carnegie Hall, performing in musical theater as well?
Yes. I did musical theater for 2 years.
Where, and that was in
That's in
high
Frank
school?
Sinatra. And that's open to any major in the school, and you have to audition to get in. We did Sweet Charity first, in my sophomore year, and
Right.
then we did Carousel my junior year.
My goodness.
Yeah.
That's tremendous for, high school.
Yeah.
Definitely. What else?
So that was just an amazing opportunity. Also, we were able to sing for, Tony Bennett, he's the founder of the school.
Right.
So he constantly came to school.
Really?
Yes. And he also brought different people who are like inspirational, like Harry Belafonte also came to the
Wow.
school. The mayor came to the school. John Stamos. Yeah, so
Uncle Jesse?
from Full House. So that was a treat. Yeah, but we were just so exposed. I loved that school because it exposed you to many different things that normal kids wouldn't really be able to experience.
A lot of these singers that you mentioned are, including John Stamos, they're people who maybe your average 17-year-old might not follow. So would you think that studying music has really made you in tune with intergenerational music styles, et cetera, et cetera?
Yes, definitely, because you get to appreciate the musicality in each genre. You don't just stick to one. You get a wide variety, and you experience every single genre with a newfound appreciation since you understand it better.
Wow. What's your favorite, when you look at your playlist, what is it broken down into? What categories?
Okay, so I have gospel,
Okay.
then I have R&B, and then I have opera, and
Oh, yeah.
then after, everything else just mixes together. If you look under my favorites, it's just a nice mix. It's not necessarily anything. You have from Queen to
Queen the band?
Queen. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's just a wide variety.
You
so-
really do have a cross-section of musicality.
Yeah.
Not only in your training, but also, on your MP3 player, on your
Yes.
iPod, on your phone, definitely. So that was when you were in high school. It sounds like you just really got a chance to be like a sponge and just absorb all of the musical that you could possibly get your hands on,
Yeah.
or your voice into. And now you're into college
Yeah.
at 17. That's pretty tremendous in itself. And where are you going to school?
Nassau Community College.
And what are you studying?
Well, I'm just 17, so I'm not necessarily sure what I want to do, but I'm doing liberal arts right now until I figure it out.
And you're in your second semester right now?
Yes.
What's your favorite thing about Nassau?
I like that they give you a wide variety of classes that you can choose from. Last semester I did lifeguarding. Yeah. And maybe in a different school I wouldn't get the opportunity to do that, but I did lifeguard training. And this semester I'm doing music, so they give me a wide variety and give me a chance to explore different things that maybe a different school wouldn't offer.
This semester, what's your favorite class?
My favorite class is chemistry.
Who's your teacher?
Professor Black.
Oh, Dr. Black. Shout out to the chemistry department.
I'm excited for labs, mixing chemicals. Hopefully I won't blow anything up.
Yeah, let's not do that. But you are taking music this semester.
Yes.
And what music class are you taking?
Music ensemble.
And how does that work?
Well, it's not only just for singers. You also have instrumentalists come in, and you'll be broken up into small groups based on your schedule. That's one thing I love. It works around your schedule, the
Oh.
student schedule.
The class works around you instead
Yeah.
of the other way around. That's
Yes.
great. That's awesome.
So once you're paired up, you'll be given individual work to practice and pieces to practice on your own, and then you'll practice in front of your professor. And then at the end of the semester, then there'll be a recital. So that's what I like about it.
Very nice. Do you know what kind of music you're performing this semester?
Well, I think my professor said she's giving me opera. Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's a good thing because you know I love opera.
Yeah.
But she said she mixes it up, opera and musical theater, so that would be great.
They're
either
both
way.
right there in your wheelhouse. That's perfect.
Yeah,
So speaking of your wheelhouse, can we go back there for a moment?
sure.
Were It Not for Grace, that's the next song you're going to sing for us. Tell us a little bit about that song. Who performs it?
Larnell Harris, and this is my mom's favorite song.
Really? Is it old school?
I guess you can say in a way, but it's just the words that are touching you because you don't deserve that much. You don't deserve everything that's given to you, but it's only because of the grace of God that like you can do whatever you can live, you can survive and get everything that you have. So that's why she loves it, I believe.
And who's it originally by?
Larnell Harris.
Okay, so you're going to sing Larnell Harris's Were It Not for Grace. Give it up for Candice Garvey, Were It Not for Grace. Go ahead.
Time measured out my days. Life carried me along. In my soul I yearned to follow God, but knew I'd never be so strong. I looked hard at this world to learn how heaven could be gained, just to end where I began, where human efforts all in vain. And were it not for grace, I can tell you where I'd be, wandering down some pointless road to nowhere, with my salvation up to me, and I know how that would go. The battles I would face, forever running but losing the race, were it not for grace. So here is all my praise, expressed with all my heart, offered to a friend who took my place and ran a course I could not start. And when he saw in full just how much his love would cost, he still ran the final mile just so that I would not be lost. And were it not for grace,
So when you're singing something just like that, Candice, what's going through your mind?
Well, before I start singing, I'm very nervous, and I'm just like, God, I say a quick prayer. I'm like, God, please help my nerves to go away, and please help someone to be blessed by this song. And then when I'm singing, then I'm just focusing on the words, and then my mind just goes clear.
Wow. Where are you most nervous singing?
At my church.
Uh-huh.
At-
Well, we've talked so far about your musical roots and how you fostered or grew your musical roots at Frank Sinatra High School.
Yes.
And now at NASA Community College.
Yes.
But your real roots are in your church.
Yes.
Yeah. So tell us about your church. Is that where you're most nervous singing?
Yes.
Why is that?
Because I went there all my life.
And what church is that?
Jamaica Seventh-day Adventist Church.
In Jamaica, Queens.
Jamaica, Queens.
Mhm.
And because those are the people who you grew up with, those are the people who are closest to you, and you really care the most about what they think about how you performed, and like they're the people who will critique you the
worst, I
yeah.
guess. Yeah.
So all the time, I just hope that they get blessed more so than anybody else, I guess.
And
because-
what other churches have you sung in?
Well, I sang at Bethany United Methodist Church
In Brooklyn?
Uh-huh. I sang at Calvary Seventh-day Adventist Church in Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Right, that's far away. That's
Yeah.
great. And those were both solos?
Yes.
Wow.
I sang at Elmont SDA,
Mhm.
different
Seventh-day
Seventh-day
Adventist,
Adventist
right.
churches around the area.
Great.
I sang at.
And so you're most trepidatious about singing in your own church.
Yes.
Where are you most at ease singing?
Well, when I was at school, Frank Sinatra,
Mhm.
I loved when I had to sing on the stage. They have bright lights, so you don't see anybody, so you don't get nervous.
That's keeping it real.
So that's when I felt most at ease.
Okay, so you're most at ease when you can't see your audience.
Yes.
Candice Garvey, everyone watching is going to want to know more about you. Where can we reach you?
Well, you can contact me at hgarvey@aol.com.
And that's your email address,
Yes.
hgarvey@aol.com.
Yes.
Great. I'm sure your inbox will be flooded with churches and venues and community groups who want to have you over to sing. So before we close out, any final thoughts? Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, I'll be somewhere in the health field. I'll still be singing at the side, and just happy.
Graduated NASA
Graduated,
as well.
yes.
All right.
So that's it.
Great. Candice Garvey, thank you so much for joining us here on Communication Corner. This has been Communication Corner. I'm your host, Gail Lewis. As always, you can email me, newday2010@yahoo.com. Feel free to email me. Or you can always find us on Facebook. Look for Communication Corner. We're under the TV category. Who would have thought? Anyway, Candice Garvey is going to do us the great pleasure of singing us out. Okay?
Okay.
Great. Candice Garvey, In Majesty He Will Come. Who's that originally by?
Sandy Patty.
Sandy Patty. She's your girl.
Yes.
Thanks so much, Candy. Thanks for everyone for tuning in. And here again is Candice Garvey. Go.
Born of Almighty God, sent from His heavenly throne, given to reign over kings and priests, the sins of man to atone. The Messiah will return, the hour unknown to man. A fanfare of praise will inhabit the earth as creation rejoices in Him. In majesty He will come with the sound of the trumpet to claim Savior, eternal King, every knee in heaven and earth will bow to this most holy one. In majesty, he will come. Clothed in his regal robes, crowned in his sovereignty, the scepter of righteousness in his hand, our Lord for eternity. His kingdom will have no end for those who have known God's grace. The saints of all ages will inhabit the earth to joyfully look on his face. In majesty, he will come with the sound of the trumpet to claim the redeemed. In majesty, he will come. Jesus, my Savior,